Hi there, it's so nice to see you once again. So I have to tell you, I think you third and fourth graders have been doing such an amazing job with your artwork. It has been a joy every day to open up my Seesaw classroom and see the wonderful, wonderful things that you are sending me. It's such high quality work, and it's made going through this sometimes challenging time a joy. It's one of the silver linings of COVID. So today, I want to share with you something I love, and that's maps. And maps help us go places in our imagination, especially right now when we can't travel. And my favorite kind of maps are illustrated maps. Illustrated maps add detail and drawings and give us an experience of a place. So that's what we're going to work on today, drawing imaginary maps of our favorite place with lots of wonderful detail. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. So in this project we're going to use our imaginations, and you can see that's what I've done here, because I don't know too many people who live in a house that's actually shaped like a book, or like my daughter Amy's house, shaped like a cupcake, and my house, because I love to bake, shaped like a loaf of bread. So once you have your imagination, you will need a large piece of paper or your sketchbook. You decide what size you want to work on. Some paints, either watercolor paints if you have those, or the paints I gave you. You would probably want some colored pencils from our set. You definitely need a planning pencil with a good eraser, a Sharpie marker, and if you can find one, a much smaller marker for doing the detail. A paintbrush if you're using paints, and of course, a cup of water. So let's get started. With your planning pencil, you're going to want to sketch out the important landmarks first. And I did that lightly in pencil because I found as I was working, I wanted to make adjustments. So drawing lightly with a pencil is a great way to start. Once you have that, you can start doing outlining it either darkly with pencil or with, I like a fine point Sharpie. I picked a Sharpie so that when I add watercolors over it, it won't bleed out. On this one, I did a close-up of a special place in my imagination. On some of my other ones that I showed you earlier, I did a far away and I did the shape of the land. So my big landmark I'm starting out is the Bailey House. And I am going to do an imaginary map of our fairy woods. We have a wonderful woods by my house, and I really sometimes think fairies must live there. In fact, there's a little gnome tree with a door on it that opens up. My husband added the door after we realized that was a gnome tree. So I'm going to start with our house. I am going to add the steps down to the fairy woods here, the pond, and all the detail. Now, I don't want you to have to spend forever watching me do this. So I am going to fast forward and do the best job I can with my broken wrist. My drawing skills are not the best right now, but bear with me and we'll watch the imaginary fairy woods take place. So I've taken my time to work on my drawing, and do take your time. I find it is more fun to spend a few days on my map and go back to it and add more detail and the things that I love. This one, I've done a more close-up map. You might like to do yours like that, or you might like to do it more from a distance, like here. In any case, when you're all done, you can see that adding color really brings out the details in your map and also helps you focus on what's important. So you may use the colored pencils that we gave you or paints. I think I'm going to do colored pencils. And I just want to show you one technique of coloring. You don't need to color in every single thing. A technique that works very well is to color the edges sometime. Just color around the edges. You don't have to fill in the whole thing. And it looks very nice. Often, if you color darkly around the edges and go lighter to the middle, it will look great. I'm having kind of a hard time doing that with my broken paw here, but I will take my time, go back. Let's say I want some brown on my tree. Rather than coloring in the whole tree, I might outline the edges and just lightly do the inside. For paints, things like my creek might be nice in paint, or my ponds, I will just get my brush wet. And again, I can color the whole thing in, or I can just do an edging. So for my creek, maybe I'll get a little bit of watercolor blue, and see if I can get my hand to work. I can go right along the edge. And then I like to get just water on my brush and blend things out. That works very, very well. Particularly like when you have a whole area of grass. I'll get some green here from this set of paints. Rather than trying to color in the whole thing, I might just do the edges of Bailey Hill here and then fade them out. Now, one thing that's really nice to add to your map, which I don't have yet, is your compass rose. That tells your viewers which way is north, which way is south, how do they go about navigating your map. So over here in the corner, I will do my north, south, east, and west. And in the old-fashioned maps, they did wonderful designs on these. You do it how you like, okay? Have fun, take your time, spend a few days, and don't forget, when you're all done, to send me a picture of your work. I can't wait to see it.